Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellen and this is
Michelle.
Due to popular demand, my sister Michelle is now a permanent fixture on my channel for at least for Booktube videos, sometimes for the AuthorTube videos as well. So today we decided to do a Booktube Newbie Tag for her. I already did mine several weeks ago, but since she's new to the channel I thought you guys might want to get to know her a bit better as well. So, on to the questions. We're going to actually do this in like an interview style. Question number 1. Why did you join this channel?
Because you asked me to.
Okay, that's valid.
True.
I did. Okay.
Well, we had fun. We had fun doing, and we did, for those of you who don't know, we did Christmas adaptation videos last Christmas.
And the bromance ones last November, or October.
Yeah, so, you know, every once in a while I'd come on and we'd have fun, and it was so much fun we thought, let's try it as a regular thing.
Yeah. Number 2, what is something fun and unique that you bring to YouTube? I had a hard time with this one as well.
Well, I have a psych degree, and I have an ECE, I have an ECE diploma. Well, I'm very interested in why people do things and what people are thinking, and also kind of like how children look at the world, which is very different from the way we look at the world. And so, yeah, I guess that's my
which will be fun when we're doing the
unique thing that I bring to YouTube.
That'll be fun when, particularly when we're reading middle grade as well. Middle grade books. Okay, so what are you most excited about for this channel?
Right now, I'm really excited about the adaptations again in December.
Yes. Me too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have, especially the first one. The first one's gonna be really cool, and I think it's one that not many people know was based on a book.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Neither did I. So if you want to watch those Christmas adaptations, be sure to click subscribe and click the little bell so that you get notified when we upload new videos, because they're going to be a lot of fun. Number 4, why do you love reading?
I think for the same reason that I like, you know, this whole psychology thing, right? I love books because you can get inside somebody's head without it getting too messy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I you know, like reading Ernest Hemingway. He's very much about relationships and the people in the books more than what's happening. Like there is like things happening, but it's very much about the relationship and how people are thinking. I really like that. So, you know, that's one thing I really like about books. And I like experiencing, you know, other places and other things, and, you know, vicariously.
I have to say one thing I'm excited about for this channel. I know this isn't my interview.
Oh, here we go. She's taken over the interview.
I'm excited that you're going to be introducing me to new books, because I've never read Agatha Christie. I've never read Ernest Hemingway. And there's other authors that you read that I've never read. So I'm excited about So I guess I'm excited about us sharing different books. And discussing them on the channel or on a video. So
with you.
Yay. Number 5. What book or series got you into reading?
Oh, that's really hard to narrow down. It really is, because when we were kids, our mom read to us all the time. I mean, I had half my books memorized, and I'm sure you did too. And I'd be like jumping on the bed and she'd stop and I'd, you know, finish the sentence and stuff like that, right? So, so I loved reading. I loved books, I think, for that reason. And then I carried that on with my children. But as for books that I really enjoyed, things like Judy Blume and the Tales of the Fourth Grade Nothing and Super Fudge.
Up there if you want to grab it.
Yeah. And Pippi Longstockings and those kind of books. And as I got older, I think once I got into my teens, I really got ravenous with books. and I read a lot of historical romances. But I liked the history stuff, you know, so that was something I was very interested in. So, you know, putting in a little bit of romance in with it, I thought that was kind of cool. Not like the Harlequin stuff, like stuff that was more like, it wasn't Fabio on the cover or whatever, but the teenager ones, like the teens, so it was a young teen in turn of the century New York or something.
I remember those, yeah, I remember you reading those. Yeah.
They had, each book was a girl's name, so it would be Emily or Ella or Rachel or something like that, right? And yeah, I really liked those books. And then just kind of, and then I got into ghost stories.
We know about her ghost stories. If you want to hear funny things about her ghost story adventures, you can click there. We did a Halloween weekend extravaganza last weekend, and we shared some creepy stories that we either read or experienced in our childhood. Mostly in our childhood. There were a couple experiences I had over the past 10 years. What question would you ask your favorite booktubers?
Well, the booktubers that I've watched, I'm just, like, one thing that always, I'm kind of a slower reader, and I just look at it and I think, how do they read so many books?
Right.
So I think that'd be a big thing for me, is how do you read so many books?
Yeah, they'll read like a book in a day.
Yeah.
Or more than one book in a day for some of them, depending on the book as well.
Yeah. So that's, I think that would be my big thing. Like, do they schedule stuff? Do they just sit down and they say, okay, I'm going to read this much or what? But yeah, like they seem to just read so much so fast. So I think that'd be a big one to read.
Number 7. What challenges do you think in joining a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome?
Okay, so I think the big one for me is that I've always been, well, not always. Okay, when I read stuff that I just read because I enjoy it, because, you know, I've done schooling and all that, so reading was, you know, I would read for study, I would read for, you know, just improving my vocation, whatever I'm doing, you know. Like for early childhood education, you need to continually keep up on what the trends and things that people are discovering and new ways of doing things and all that kind of stuff. So there's that kind of reading. But when I'm just reading for enjoyment, yeah, I just kind of take it easy and read in that. And so I think one thing that's kind of stressing me out a little bit is I'm thinking I'm going to feel pressure to read things that I enjoy reading. I'm already going into the past tense. I enjoyed reading. Now it's a chore. You know, no. But I'm just, yeah. And I know that you wouldn't put pressure on me. I know you wouldn't put pressure on me. It's pressure I put on myself. You know.
Well, one thing I will let you know, I've allowed myself to not finish a book that I plan on finishing, and you guys know I've said, okay, this is on my TBR, and then yeah, I didn't finish this one yet. So yeah, there's no pressure for it. You just say what you hope to read, and usually that's when I read more. Like I wasn't expecting to be able to read all that much in September, and I think I read like 7 books, which was big for me. So yeah, no pressure. Don't put pressure on yourself. I smack you. Okay, number 8. When did you start reading? Which we touched on earlier, I think, but
yeah. So yeah, there was just like I started reading in grade school, but reading, like really reading for enjoyment and fun and that kind of thing would have been like my preteens. Was probably probably around there, or even before that, like 4th grade, 5th grade. Yeah, well, that's part of it, right? But that's one thing teachers
play a big part.
They do. They do play a big part in your love for reading, right? And for wanting, you know, feeling comfortable reading. A lot of people, I think, oh, I can't read. you know, and I never liked reading or stuff like that. And teachers can really make or break kids that way. And so I had teachers that would, I think a lot of teachers do it, but some are better than others at it, that would read books to us in class, right? And they would, you know, they just make it fun and exciting and interesting. And so I think that was part of why I really started to like reading and enjoy reading and that. So thank you, teachers. Thank you, my teachers.
Yes.
And I know my girls actually had one teacher in particular, an English teacher, who, and I know teachers do this, right? They'll show video of a book that has been adapted to,
like we do, compare.
Yeah, but instead of using it more for a tool to teach, okay, how to, you know, this is what the book said, this is what the movie does.
Let's discuss the differences.
Yeah, things like that, or even just giving them a picture of what was happening in the book or something. I don't know, but he just
press play.
Yeah, he put the video in and pressed play, and they just watched it. And it's just like you're missing out on a whole level of, you know, of experience, you know. But yeah, so, but thank you to teachers who do it right.
Like Mrs. Fougier for me, I remember she got me loving reading, and then Mr. Jude would read to the class as well as get us reading and stuff, right? But he introduced us, he was from England, so he introduced us to books from the UK. And I don't know, maybe we would have been introduced to them regardless, but it was our age group and he read them to us. But it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, the Twits. We wouldn't have been introduced to the Twits because the Twits are not extremely well known, but they're also by Roald Dahl. Highly recommend, very funny. But yeah, so he introduced us to books that I feel like we probably wouldn't have been introduced to quite as easily. So I completely agree. Some teachers do it right, other teachers not so much. Okay, number 9. Where do you read? I know the answer to this. She's gonna get a dreamy look on her face.
Well, I do. Like, reading is a very seasonal thing for me. It has been for years, well, since I started getting into reading. Because I've been very much, like, I've done, you know, schooling and stuff like that and things like, so I wasn't able to read for the joy of reading unless I was on summer break, spring break, or Christmas break. And that's the one thing I enjoyed so much about those breaks is, hey, I can do some reading, I can really get into a book, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's one thing that, so that said, in this house, I have a favorite place, which is the porch. It's my favorite room in the whole house, and it's got windows all the way around, and it's just a nice comfy spot. We got a couple couches out there, and I just like to just lay there and read. I just like to spend most of my time there, actually, but in the summertime and, well, the fall, as soon as it warms up in the spring, I'm out there.
If you can't find her in warm weather, that's usually where she is.
Yeah, so I love that. But I have moved around a fair amount, and I find for me, it's whenever I have spare time, I read. So if I was on the bus going between school and somewhere or going wherever, I was reading. If I was, you know, I guess, yeah, now I don't know, what else did I do? But yeah, I take a book to the park, and I had a favorite tree in Vaughan that I used to love to lie underneath and read books and stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes I'd even have, when my girls were younger and I'd be taking them places and have to sit and wait for a bit, I would, if I was sitting in the car or sitting in a waiting room, I'd read. Yeah. So, but my favorite spot right now is the porch.
And the final question, number 10, what kind of books do you like to read?
I like so many books. I love mystery books, like Agatha Christie. Love those books. Well, you already know if you've watched some of our stuff, like even last weekend, Dean Koontz. Really enjoy Dean Koontz books. But then I've really gotten into like classics. I really like reading the classics, and some of them I'm reading over again too. So Ernest Hemingway, loved The Old Man and the Sea. I really liked that one, but I've read other Ernest Hemingway and stuff, but that was one that got me hooked on him. And I really enjoy reading Shakespeare too. But yeah, and right now I'm reading Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay. All right, so that is the last of the questions. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Just looking forward to the booktube journey. And yeah, if you have anything to say about any of the answers that I had about when you started reading, or teachers in reading, or anything like that, please
favorite books,
comment,
or authors.
Yeah, or suggestions. Actually, no, another thing I really like to read is children's books. I really like reading children's books.
Yeah.
Because I'm always on the lookout for another good book or author that I really enjoy to read to children and that. And so I'll go into like Winners, or even like into Indigo or Chapters or something. And if I get separated, if somebody's with me at the time, they just know, go to the children's section. If she's not there, she'll be there soon.
Yeah, if she's not there, just wait a few minutes.
Yeah, I love finding new books for kids too.
Cool.
It'll be fun.
Well, I am excited that we're going to be doing this together now. One thing that's been difficult for me is just finding topics to talk about on my own and still make it interesting. So it's going to be a lot more entertaining, I think, us having a discussion about a book. So that is the video for today. My sister is joining me on a permanent basis for the booktube side of things, and then occasionally for AuthorTube.
Okay.
She is working on a book as well, so eventually she'll be contributing even more to AuthorTube. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like,
comment,
and subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell so that you get notified when we upload new videos. We try to upload a new booktube video every Wednesday and a new AuthorTube video every Friday. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day and stay happy, healthy,
and safe. Yay! A little bit, you know. Pulling with all I've got, Captain.
Oh, okay. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. But I always get the intro wrong.
How many times do you do the intro wrong?
Quite a few times. So, on to the questions. I won't be keeping that in. So, question number one. We're going to do this as like... Oh dear. What's that supposed to mean?
Is that boredom?
I'm already yawning.
It's stress yawning.
We'll reword some questions and some she won't have an answer for because it doesn't apply.
So I'll just say like, no comment.
Yeah. Yeah, like a celeb.
Or I have
Celebrity.
immunity.
Gonna plead the fifth?
I don't think you can do that in Canada.
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
have a fifth.
we don't, but we can pretend.
Okay. So,
Okay.
I guess I kind of bring a psycho child look. No. So yeah.
Psycho child. What challenges do you think in joining a booktube channel will be what challenges do you think in starting... Okay, and final question. What kind of book, you know, discussing a TBR, to be read.
Don't know all the lingo yet.
Sorry, or books we didn't finish, which is called a DNF, did not finish. And, what's the TBR, DNF, And then
IDK. I don't know. I got one.
And then there's it's when you're wrap up. Then there's the wrap up where you say what books you did read.
That's important.
Again. Cut. Cut it out.
Yes, Joey Gladstone.
Yes.
So
okay, I'm gonna basis for. Ow! I just pulled something in my back. For.
In the past, you told